All right, everybody, welcome. Good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you're joining us from. We are so excited to have all of you with us here today. It looks like we've got a whole bunch of you and you're steadily coming in, so welcome. Super excited to have Bryson Womack and Michael Thorne here with us this morning. For all of you who are our loyal readers here at RE Technology, we bring you consistent educational sessions every month, these great webinar experiences. And we're super excited to have these two here today. Bryson's actually a good friend of mine for many years. We worked together previously. It's been great to get to know Michael Thorne here today, and excited to have them share with you guys all about how they're using and utilizing AI to be more visible, valuable, and unstoppable. And so one of the pieces I saw with the promotion of this was that AI won't replace you. But agents who are using AI might, right? And so it's so important now more than ever. Excited to have you guys join us, and welcome Bryson, welcome Michael.
Yeah, thanks, Tom. Yeah,
Thanks, Tom.
I'm really excited. This next hour is going to be great. I mean, we're finally getting to break down the technology that's truly making it easier for real estate professionals to grow their business. Over the 15 years that I've been in this space, the four questions that continue to ring no matter what the conditions are, how can technology help me increase my sphere of influence? How can technology consistently grow my database of quality leads? How can technology make me manage my task easier? And ultimately, how can technology help me close more transactions? And so there's been a ton of companies that have come and gone, and some that specialize in some things and some that specialize in others. But for the first time, right now, machine learning, artificial intelligence, what has happened in the last 2 years has just been mind-boggling. We are at a time when this technology actually addresses all of these questions and these concerns, but the adoption and the understanding of it is really one of the hard things. So yeah, I'm really excited to have Michael join us today. Michael is a practicing agent in the beautiful city of Vancouver. He's an iHomeFinder longtime client, but he is an AI strategist right now who is kind of setting the stage on helping real estate professionals understand this technology, but more importantly, how to adopt it and incorporate it in their lives today. So yeah, I think one of the best things we want to talk about today, or really what we wanted to make sure, was that you had some tips and tricks that you could take home today, but then also making sure that we set you up for success and give you the opportunity to continue the ongoing education with this as well. So yeah, with that being said, I'll go ahead and turn it over to Michael and let him take it from here.
Thank you so much, Bryson and Tom and everyone for joining me here today. So, this is what we're going to be talking about, visibility and value when it comes to AI in real estate. And one of the things I want to be very, very clear about is no matter how much I share today, we will always be scratching the surface of what is possible. If I were to spend 8 hours with you guys today at hour number 8, I would share something with you that would fundamentally change your business. And so it's such a huge topic. We've got an hour or so together. We're gonna go through a bunch of things. We're gonna talk about what AI is and what it isn't, and then we're gonna give you some practical ways to use it inside your business. And then we're going to do some Q&A too as well. We're also going to make this as interactive as we possibly can for all of you. So in the chat, put in a number 1 if you know what this is. If you know what this is, put a 1 inside the chat for me. See if we know if anyone that looks just like, there's a Jeff White knows what this is. That's right. Jeff and I, Rolanda, Dana, there we go, 1. This is the Konami code. This is a cheat code. This was a bunch of really, really difficult games, Contra being one of the most difficult games of the late 80s, and up, down, left, right, B, A, select if you had a friend start, and it kind of gave you unlimited lives. And this is really what this is. When we're talking about AI, we're talking about a cheat code. And Bryson just sort of talked about it, and Tom at the beginning is, you're not in danger of losing your job to AI, but if you're not using a cheat code and your competition is, it's going to make it very, very difficult. And so in a nutshell, this is a cheat code to take your business to the next level. So let's go back to 1995. This is my business card from 1995. I'm in my third year of real estate. A couple of ways you can tell this is from 1995. On the card on the right, that is a pager on my hip. Cell phones not really widely used there in 1995. And then also ER is a big television program. And I figured, well, if George Clooney could pull off the Caesar haircut, there's no reason why I couldn't. And as you can tell, I couldn't. But back in 1995, there was 3 real problems with my business. Number one, I couldn't grow a mustache. To look one day older than I actually was. Number 2, I had no sphere of influence. A 19-year-old doesn't have home buying and selling sphere of influence. And number 3, back in 1995, I really couldn't run my business any different than everybody else, right? At the time, it was door knocking, cold calling, open houses, and if you had money, and quite a bit of money, ads in newspaper. And so there was no ability to run your business differently. And so that was one of the problems that I had. But then in 1995, for the first time, something came along that was going to change the industry and change society. And I saw opportunity where most people saw challenge. So let's go back to 1995 and watch this that was broadcast on national television back then.
I wasn't prepared to translate that as I was doing that little tease.
Oh, that's
that little
right.
mark with the A and then the ring around it.
At.
See, that's what I said. Katie said she thought it was about.
Yeah. Oh.
But I'd never heard
Or
it.
around.
I'd never heard it said. I'd always seen the mark, but never heard it said. And then it sounded stupid when I said it. Violence at NBC.
Yeah, I heard you around or about in the lunchroom the other
See,
week.
there it is. Violence at NBC. GE.com. I mean,
Well, Allison should know.
what
do you
is
say
internet
that,
anyway?
Internet is that
Massive computer
Right.
network.
the one that's becoming really big now.
What do you mean? That's big. How does one? What do you write to it like mail?
No, a lot of people use it and communicate. I guess they can communicate with NBC writers and producers. Allison, can you explain what internet is?
So that's 1995. I'm sure most of you are chuckling to yourselves because it's funny, but it's funny because of time, right? At the time, there was really experienced agents in my office saying things like, "I will never participate in the internet." And at the time, it was like a somewhat rational thing to say, but now looking back, we just know how wrong they were. And we're living through that again right now, where people are like, "I'm not going to participate in AI." So we're living this all over again. And AI is very much like the internet of 1995 with 2 distinct differences. Number 1, AI is going to have a much bigger impact on our personal and our professional lives. And most importantly, it's going to happen much, much faster. I had the honor of listening to Dr. David Edelman give a talk last fall. He is a professor at MIT. He's advised 3 former US presidents on technology. And his talk that day could be summed up by this one quote. It was, "I implore you to be impatient." And so often we hear people talk about social media or a new technology that comes along, and people just get a little anxious. And in most cases, you have time, you can be intentional, it can be deliberate, you can roll it out. In this case, I think you need to be impatient. And that's what this is about. This is why iHomeFinder it's so amazing to put this together for us, is that we need you to realize that it's really time in 2025 to be impatient, because there's something called digital divide. So what this is this idea that the longer you wait to adapt to new technology, the more difficult it becomes to do so. So think about my parents' generation, right? It's not like my mom and dad weren't smart enough to implement new technology when it came along. It's the fact that they didn't actively do it on an ongoing basis. And so when they finally pick up the phone, and it blows my dad's mind that the little icon on the front turns on the flashlight on the back, that becomes overwhelming, because there was a divide between actively pursuing it, engaging it, and practicing it, and sort of keeping your thumb on the pulse of new technology. And this is going to happen with AI, and it's going to be very, very disruptive to our industry. See, right now, it's not so hard to jump across that digital divide. But in the next couple of months or maybe a year, that divide is going to get much, much bigger. And it's going to be much more difficult to jump across and sort of get on the other side of that divide. And not too long from now, that jump will just become impossible. And it's going to leave so many people behind. So we've got our first poll question that we're going to pop up. And it's simply asking you, what's AI? Are you a what's AI person, meaning you use it once a week or so? A beginner, you sort of dabble with it. And those people that believe that they're intermediates, and then experts. And let's take experts off the table because I don't even know if I'm an expert. So go ahead and answer that question. Let me know where you are. Oh, we don't have what's AI in there too as well. So let's choose beginner or an intermediate. And if you believe you're an expert, go ahead and put that in there. Go ahead and answer that question for us, and that would be fantastic. I'm going to put myself down there. There we go. And then once we have an answer there, after everyone goes in, this is going to be an interactive session, guys. So go ahead and interact. So go ahead and click on the poll. And then, Michael, if you want to just throw up the results once we have them, and we'll see what we got there. All right, so here's what we got. We got beginners at 71%. We've got intermediates at 24%. And we've got experts at 4%. 4 people believe they're experts. I love those people. But here's the thing. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's the whole point of the next 45 minutes with you. I want that 24% of people who believe that they're intermediates by the end of this session to realize they're beginners. That's my goal. My goal is to make those 24% of people who identify themselves as intermediates realize they're beginners. And that is a super, super positive thing. That means the opportunity is so much bigger than you believe it is, right? And if that's the case, if you believe you're an intermediate and therefore you see the size of the opportunity, and I can open your eyes and realize, holy crow, I'm a beginner, that's a very, very exciting thing. So that's the goal throughout this session. Now, I need one of you guys to be a volunteer. If you can write in, if you want to grow your first-time homebuyer business, if that's something you would like to do, I would like to use you as an example. And all I need from you is your first and last name and the brokerage along with a moniker that you work at right now. And I'm going to use you as an example. So if you would like to grow your first-time homebuyer business, go ahead and put your name in there. Me, Rick Baker. Rick Baker. Oh, now see? Erica followed the rules, Rick. Okay. Let's go with Erica Harbin. So you guys can see my screen now. And what we're going to do is we're going to build out a system for Erica. So Erica Harbin right there, and Whitehead Realty. That's Head Realty. Now I'm going to have to just let me just write that down because I'm going to need Erica's name here later on, and I'll never find it back in the chat. So Erica Harbin. All right. So here we have on the screen. I don't have time to get into the way I use departments, and I have employees in charge of departments, but this is a simple little prompt, and we're going to perform a search on Erica Harbin of Whitehead Realty. And I just want to find out where Erica does her business, her areas of expertise, and the 3 main categories that she serves. I'm going to send that off, and it's quickly going to do a web search, and I'm going to give us some results back here for Erica. So primarily Somerset counties on Maryland's eastern shore. That's where we do primarily on Maryland's eastern shore, areas of expertise, residential home sales, new construction, land purchase, investments. Oh, primary client categories, first-time home buyers. There we go. Awesome. So there we have this information. We're going to come back and revisit this in a little bit. Thanks, Erica. Stay tuned. We're going to build out something for you really great throughout the next 45 minutes or so. So the question you should be asking yourself is simply, why should you care? Like, why is this important for you guys to care about? And study after study has shown the impact that AI has on efficiency and quality of output. And studies from Stanford and MIT and all these places has shown that professionals like us that use this technology can reduce time on task by up to 80%. That means what takes you 5 hours to do takes me 1. It also found that quality of output improves by 40%, which means what takes you 5 hours to do takes me 1, and my 1 hour is 40% better than your 5. And that's simply why you should care. Clawing back a couple hours every day to reinvest in your business with the most important activities that you do. And those are the relationships, the lead building, those things that Bryson was talking about. Now, the next question you should be asking yourself is, does this work? And there's a bunch of different ways that I can show you the way it's impacted our business, but this is the web traffic to our website throughout 2023. And you can almost see down to the week when we started using AI on our website and the content on it. And I will tell you, a lot of this comes down to iHomeFinder as an opportunity that we could finally implement. So we started creating all these amazing landing pages for the townhouse complexes in our area and embedding iHomeFinder in there. And our little niche communities, and not only just our community, but a page about a niche community for townhomes, and the same niche community for apartments, and the same niche community for detached housing, and embedding search on there too as well, and answering questions. You see, things are going to change a lot, and I know iHomeFinder is at the forefront of it when we're talking about things like AEO and GEO, which is the SEO, search engine optimization of large language models. And what we're going to find here is that a lot of the business that comes from large language models recommending you are bottom of the funnel questions. And they're converting at a much, much higher rate than Google, because an expert, a human, is recommending you that you use Michael Thorne. So no longer will the big sort of overall portals that says, real estate in Vancouver, that's not necessarily the search that's going to be recommended, but a particular complex in a particular neighborhood for people that are downsizing and their children in their 50s are helping them move into a retirement home, and you've got the content on there embedded with IDX and search and value, you're going to be recommended all the time. And so now you can implement these sort of micro opportunities at mass scale by leveraging a prompt. And I did a webinar with iHomeFinder a year and a half ago where I created like 18 unbelievable landing pages in about 20 minutes. And so now we can systemize that value and bring value to people. And this graph just continues to grow and grow and grow over the years. And that's where we are, sort of bottom of the funnel opportunities. And I know iHomeFinder is working very, very hard on the AEO and the GEO opportunities for all of you that are using the platform. So this is what I think about when it comes to AI and real estate. I believe there are 2 losers and 1 winner when it comes to AI and real estate. The first losers are those agents that ignore it, much like the internet in 1995. People who believe that they're going to run their business 2-3 years from now and not have AI be a center part of how they do their business, much like the internet is today, are absolutely wrong, and they're going to lose. The next loser, in my opinion, are the agents that are going to put this technology between them and the consumer, that are going to distance themselves from the consumer by using this technology. These agents that are listening to experts on stages telling them to create a digital avatar of themselves to communicate with their clients. If you're going to use this technology to be further away from your client, to spend less time with them, I think you're going to lose. So the winner, in my opinion, the winner is the agent that uses the technology exactly like Tom and Bryson were talking about, behind you, in the systems, in the busy work, in the lead gen, and all that stuff, right behind you, pushing you closer to your client, freeing up a couple hours every day so you can spend more time with a nervous first-time home buyer or educating an first-time investor, right? That's the value of this, is there's a lot of $20 an hour work behind us that we can streamline so we can do a lot more of the $450 an hour work that we are great at. And so 2 losers and 1 winner when it comes to AI and real estate. Now, today we're going to be focusing mainly on large language models. And I'm going to be using that term large language models quite a bit over AI or over ChatGPT because I don't really have skin in the game. And these are like the four biggest large language models. I would say there's three, and then one B is Gemini, which is Google's large language model. We're anticipating Gemini 3 being released before the end of the year. ChatGPT, that you guys are all familiar with, ChatGPT 5 came out a couple months ago. And in fact, I think by the first quarter of next year, we'll see ChatGPT 6 come out. Claude 4.5 is Anthropic's large language model, amazing. And then Grok 4, which is XAI's large language model. And I don't really have skin in the game. I don't know who's going to win when it all comes down. Kind of put my money on Google. But all the skills that we talk about today are going to be applicable in any of these large language models. We'll be primarily using ChatGPT as an example because I think it's the most user-friendly and the most widely adopted platform amongst real estate agents. So there are 5 stages of AI as outlined by OpenAI, which runs or owns ChatGPT. And here they are. Stage number 1 is chatbots, and this happened in the fall of 2022. This was when ChatGPT 3.5 came out. You ask a question, you get an answer right away. Then we moved to stage number 2 of large language or of AI, and that is reasoners. And this happened in September of 2024. This was the ability for us to ask a question inside a chatbot, and instead of getting an answer right away, it thought about it for a little bit. It reasoned about it. And so it gave us a much more valuable answer. And that happened, like I said, in September of 2024. Throughout the remainder of this year and throughout 2026 will be the stage of AI agents. And I'm not talking about real estate agents. I'm talking about AI agents, and I'll discuss it a little bit about what they are and how they're going to be used in a second here. But this is the stage that's going to disrupt small business in such a big way, and is going to impact the way that you guys do business. This is the cheat code when we get into AI agents and the opportunities that come along with it. Stage number 4 is innovators, and we're already starting to see this, some breakthroughs with cancer that are happening right now. But this is ability for AI to create things that didn't exist before. Instead of just reframing its knowledge and presenting it to us in the way that we want it, it's going to start inventing new opportunities. And then stage number 5 is organizations. The idea that a large language model can do all the actions of an organization. And I think by the time 2030 comes along, we'll have a $1 billion company out there with 1 employee. And those are the 5 stages of AI as defined by OpenAI. So right now, we are in this back and forth. Let's talk about AI agents for a little bit. We're in this sort of game of Pong where we, the user, ask a question, it goes off the ChatGPT, we get an answer, and it comes back to us, and then we ask a question, a follow-up question that goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. But that's going to change when AI agents become mainstream in how we interact with large language models. So let's talk about the AI agent revolution. You're going to, and let's use a really low-hanging fruit example of a blog post, for example. So if I were to write a blog post, I would have 5 AI agents working for me. Now, these are not real people. These are agents that work in my company that have a specific skill set. And so I've got a content strategist, I've got a researcher, I've got an outline writer, I got a copywriter, and I have an editor. And they're all very, very knowledgeable about how I run my business. And every Tuesday morning at 9 a.m., without me asking, the content strategist goes out there and reads everything that's happening in the news. It goes to our website. It sort of gets an idea of what the best piece of content and the most timely piece of content out there right now that will reinforce our topical authority that we already have on our website. The content strategist will then hand that idea off to a researcher. Our researcher and agent will go out there and dig up the research and look for stats and facts and things that back up that blog post, and then send that information out to an outline writer. The outline writer will write a perfect outline for the blog post. It'll go off to the copywriter. The copywriter will write the blog post. It'll go off to an editor who will suggest changes. It'll go back to the copywriter who will make those changes. This will go back and forth, and then finally off to the editor for final approval. And then it will show up in your inbox or be automatically uploaded to your website and published. Those are 5 AI agents that will work on their own and not needing pong back and forth or input from you. And now imagine your business with 100 of these AI agents. That's where we will be in the very near future, doing all those very predictable things that are in our business that don't need physical relationships or doesn't actually have to pick up something and hold it, right? If it doesn't have to physically move it, like put a lockbox on a property, we can have our AI agents do those tasks. And that's what's going to happen throughout the remainder of the year and throughout next year. And this is the cheat code that's going to free up a lot of time for all of us to be more human and to take our business to the next level. So let's talk about the AI agent revolution and how it has unfolded this year. And this is just OpenAI. I'm not talking about Claude or Gemini. In January, ChatGPT released Tasks. Then later that month, they released Operator. And then in February, they released Deep Research, which the CEO of ChatGPT of OpenAI, Sam Altman, said could do 5% of all financially valuable work in the world right now. And that is a huge, huge number. And it's very, very impressive. If you're not using Deep Research regularly, you're missing out a huge opportunity. Then in July, Agent Mode came out. This is the ability for your computer to go off and do work. Right now, I have my Agent Mode going out and organizing my taxes for me right now, getting ready for my year end. And then the next stage, who knows what's going to come. But we're not going to have time to dig into Agent Mode right now, but I do want to talk about Deep Research because it's such a powerful tool. So here's an example of what Deep Research is. It's a multi-step web search and sourced back synthesis to deliver comprehensive cited insights of complex queries. So here is a prompt, for example, that you could use for a Deep Research. Create the ultimate first-time homebuyer guide for Langley and the Fraser Valley. Conduct an in-depth research to develop a comprehensive guide titled First-Time Homebuyer Guide, designed from the perspective of a seasoned realtor in Langley, BC. That's my marketplace just outside Vancouver. This guide should address every facet of home buying journey and the mortgage process for first-time homebuyers in Langley and the broader Fraser Valley region. And when that goes off and it works for 20 minutes or so, you get this as a result. This is about a 30-page document that is just flawlessly organized. It's incredibly in-depth about everything a first-time home buyer needs to know in my marketplace. Now, once you have this, you've got an ebook, you've got 8 blog posts, you've got landing pages for IDX feeds, certainly, and that's the beauty of iHomeFinder. You've got 30 Instagram Reel scripts. You've got a cheat sheet for first-time home buyers, so when you first meet with them, you can give them sort of a bit of a cheat sheet, what's going to happen. This sort of opportunity is nothing short of incredible. Now, we're going to pop back over here to the thing that we were doing for Erica, and let's go back live to ChatGPT, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to turn on Deep Research right here, and I am going to put in a prompt that is going to create the ultimate comprehensive multi-layered research for first-time home buyers and create an unbelievable blueprint for, and the service area, we're going to come back up here and we're going to say Eastern Shores. This will be the service area for Erica's Deep Research. And now when we send this off, you're going to see something different happen than you're used to. It's not going to go off and do the work right away. It's going to ask us some follow-up questions because it's going to work for 20 minutes on its own, and we want to make sure the information is accurate as it possibly can. Now, we're not going to have Erica answer these questions. Erica, I'm going to answer these questions for you. Is this blueprint intended for internal agent training? And I'm going to go number one. It's internal use is the document internal. The biggest thing I have fear is typing in front of all you guys live. Format preferences. Would you like to present it in linear journey map, checklist style, SOP, linear? Let's go with that one. Like I said, I'm just local considerations. Should I incorporate county specific programs? Yes. Well, that's a yes. 4. Tone, do you prefer a client-friendly language? Internal document, internal training. Let's just copy and paste this. There we go. All right. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to create some research now. Now we know where Erica does her business. We are now going to do deep research on everything that's going to happen in that marketplace for first-time home buyers and their journey from the moment they think about buying a home to the moment they move in. And we're going to go ahead and do that research. And this is going to take 20 minutes and we'll move on. But you can see here, it's going to start its research and it's just going to work away while we go on with the presentation. All right, so here's something you need to know and get your head around when it comes to AI, is there's a big difference between something like DocuSign and ChatGPT, right? We've all used DocuSign before, and we can give a 15-second elevator pitch exactly what DocuSign is. It is a way to conveniently and securely get signatures on documents digitally. That's what DocuSign is. And the reason why we can all define it is because it was built for one clear, specific purpose. But ChatGPT wasn't. It wasn't built for us to use in the real estate industry or any particular purpose for that matter. It's our responsibility to guide the large language model in what we're trying to accomplish. And for a lot of people, that becomes a very daunting task, and therefore they don't get the most out of it. The next big difference is the difference between Google and ChatGPT. When you type something into Google, you get a result. You put in a query, you look at the first 5 or 6 responses. If it doesn't give you what you want, your only real option is to go back and ask the query again. Where in ChatGPT, you ask the question, then you ask a follow-up question, then you dig a little bit deeper, then you do some deep research for Erica, and then you turn that deep research into something incredible. That conversation, that context is what's so different when it comes to large language models than this traditional world of search that we're so used to. And when I think about the people that are getting the most out of ChatGPT and these large language models, it's these people that are approaching it like a teammate. You're not going in like a vending machine, putting in the money, pressing the button, taking the output and walking away. We're talking about teaming up with it, asking questions, bouncing ideas off of it, digging a little bit deeper. And the thing that the people get the most value out of these large language models is when people realize that AI isn't a tool, it's a teammate. And if you find yourself using AI as a tool, you are not getting the most out of it. You have to see this as a trusted colleague that you sit down with, that's always willing to brainstorm with you, that challenges you, that together you can build something incredible. That's how you have to start thinking about this technology and not thinking it merely as a tool. So this is the biggest hurdle when it comes to AI, and it's this back and forth that I had, or I shouldn't say back and forth. I guess it's one back and forth. I got this message. It says, "Happy New Year, Michael. And I hope you had a great holiday break. Do you have any ChatGPT prompts that will help with geofarming?" And I wrote back in my sort of broken English, "We don't do a ton of it, but building a crazy system would be easy to build. Do you know what you want to accomplish?" And that's where that conversation is today. Do you know what you want to accomplish with no answer? And that is the only hurdle when it comes to AI and real estate, or AI in general. You have to know what you want to achieve. If you know what you want to achieve, then it can do it for you. For example, this is our website. And when you go to the menu section in our website, it's just got a little line under it, like a hyperlink, and it's just normal. And I know that that's not what I wanted. Now, I know nothing about coding. I can't stress that enough. I know nothing about coding, but I knew what I wanted. And what I wanted was, instead of just a link having a line under it, I want a white line to appear to the left of the link, and for the words of the link to move slightly to the right when you hover over it. I also want the effect to ease in and ease out. I know nothing about coding. I know what I wanted. I put that into ChatGPT. I send it off. It tells me how to log on into my Squarespace account. It tells me where to go. It writes the code. In the top right-hand corner, it says copy code. I grab that code. I put it into my website. And now when you go to our menu section, it looks like this. Now, it is a minor change, but the point I'm trying to make for all of you is as long as you know what you're trying to achieve and you can communicate it like you would to another human being, AI can help you accomplish that. And so the question I get asked all the time is, when should I be using AI? Like, when should I be doing it? And I challenge all of you who see yourself as beginners, all those people who said beginners during the poll that we had about 15 minutes ago, is to think about this. For the next week, every single time you're about to do a task, ask yourself if that task could be done faster or more efficiently or better with an expert across the table from you. If you're running a CMA, you don't need ChatGPT, you're the expert. If you're quickly responding to showing confirmation, you don't need AI. It can't be done faster than you just confirming it. But if you have a question about computers, you can now sit across the table from Bill Gates. If you've got a question about copywriting, you can sit across the table from the amazing Zadie Smith, or social media question, you can sit across the table from Gary Vaynerchuk. Every single time for 1 week, ask yourself, could this be done faster or better with an expert? If the answer is yes, get onto a large language model and start working like a teammate and see how different it is. You see, a large language model is just all of this knowledge. And what we want to do is we want to knock down the pins. So the easiest way to do is to put in some wood that goes down towards the pins. We put some arrows on it. We put some guardrails on it. And when you get really good, those guardrails become narrower and narrower and narrower, almost guaranteeing you hit the center pin every single time. And how you do that is through prompting. So the prompt are the instructions, questions, or requests you give an AI system to tell it what you want to do. It's like giving clear directions to an assistant so they know exactly what the task is to complete and exactly how you want it done. So here is an example of it. Create an essay on the War of 1812. You write that prompt in there, no problem. It'll go up there, it'll write a essay on the War of 1812, no problem at all. But look how different this prompt is. I want you to create an essay on the War of 1812, but make it at a grade 7 level and leave enough errors in there so my teacher doesn't become suspicious. Make it good enough to get a B+, and it will do that for you. And I love this at the top page. It says, here's a simple child-friendly essay on the War of 1812. The last sentence, this would likely land around a B+ if turned in as is. The more direction, the more value we give it, it will do what you want. And here are the 6 elements of a perfect prompt. When we're talking about prompting, these are the 6 elements. Number 1 is the most important. Number 6 is the least important when it comes to prompting. Every single time you interact with a large language model, you give it a task. It's by default. Write, brainstorm, research, those sort of things. Context is what you're trying to achieve. So content is what you are trying to do. There you go. Model is, what does good look like? And it's very important. Model lets the AI know what a good result looks like. Persona is so important, and you're going to see me use it a couple of times. You've already seen me use it today. Act like a real estate copywriter with 20 years worth of experience. Act like a data analyst with this. Act like, when you give it a persona, all of a sudden that bowling alley, the guardrails come in a little bit closer, and it focuses inside that persona. Format is the output that you want, whether you want it, like we've already seen, an internal document versus a blog post. We've already seen that with deep research asking us what we want. Do you want it as a table? Do you want it as code? Do you want it, how does it look? And then voice is the tone and style. How does it sound? And this is really, really important for forward-facing content. Now, there's something I call the 80-15-5 rule. When we get an output from a large language model, it gets us from a blank page to 80% real quick. But we need then to take that outline or that blog post or that draft or the SOP we're creating right now for Erica. Look down, I saw your name, Erica. Sorry about that. For Erica, we need to verify that the output we get is accurate. We got to check it for accuracy. We got to make sure it's on brand. We got to check it for biases. We got to fact check it. So the brain dump, 80% done real quick, then it's your responsibility to polish it, to make sure it's authentic, make sure it's in your voice, your tone, your style. And then I encourage you to take that project that's 95% done, give it back to a large language model and say, convince me that this can be better. And this is what I did when I was creating all my landing pages with iHomeFinder IDX feed in it. We would create those landing pages and then give it back to the large language model, knowing when it knows what we're trying to achieve, and go, here's the thing I'm about to post. Convince me that this can be better. And it will say, you know, to show up and search more, you should change this. This wording needs to be here. This format should be changed. It'll always improve on itself if you ask it to do so. So let's put up our next poll there, Michael. I want to know how many people are using custom instructions. And I'm going to give you a couple of ways that you're using it. You're not using custom instructions. You're using it super basic, or you're using it advanced. And if you don't know what custom instructions are, I still want you to answer. I want you to answer no, because I want this to get a little bit of a litmus test of where we are when it comes to how we're using AI in real estate. So are you using custom instructions, basic, advanced, or no? All right, Michael, let's see what we got for answers there. All right. So no, 47%. Yes, basic, 46% are people are using it basic, and advanced, yes, 8%. So, and I mean this with all the respect in the world. You cannot suggest that you are an intermediate user of ChatGPT if you're not using custom instructions in an advanced manner. So we had people say 24% of people think they're intermediates. You can't be an intermediate if you're not leveraging custom instructions in an advanced manner. So what are custom instructions? They're instructions that turn ChatGPT into a personalized assistant that consistently delivers responses tailored to your specific needs and communication style. So for example, if I go into ChatGPT with custom instructions off and I ask, what do we do and why do we do it? I send that chat off, and what I get is a very, hey, this is a powerful and open-ended question, and that depends on your context, and what do you mean by that? And are you talking about personally, or your values or motivations? And could you please clarify what you mean? But if I go in and turn on my custom instructions and I click save and I run the exact same prompt again, what do we do and why do we do it? It knows, oh, sorry guys. It knows exactly who we are and what we do and why we do it. It knows we are a real estate team in the Fraser Valley with 70 plus years worth of experience. We know we take great care of our clients. We know what's important to us, how we're trying to simplify a complex process, how we use technology intelligently to enhance, not replace the human connection. And in short, we help people move forward with confidence. That is our craft, that is our culture, that is our calling. When you use custom instructions, every single time you interact with a large language model, it already knows who you are, what you do, and most importantly, your voice, tone, and style. And I cannot emphasize this enough. So why does voice matter to a large language model? Voice transforms that large language model from a generic content generator into an extension of your authentic self, right? It's building consumer trust, consistent communication, bridges your digital presence with your in-person interactions. It's very, very important that these large language models sound like you if it's public-facing content, because we all have seen something written and we know instantly it was written by a large language model because ChatGPT has its own native voice. And if we don't tell it what voice to use, it will use its native voice. And then we get so used to it that we know that it's written by a large language model. This is our team's voice. It combines Malcolm Gladwell's narrative depth with Nate Silver's analytical precision, with Joseph Sugarman's engaging storytelling, with David Ellen's actionable clarity. That's our style, tone, and voice. Originally, I was trying to identify, I was like, we're professional, but we're gonna hug you at the end of the relationship, and we're this, but we're that, and I couldn't get it to sound like us. But I realized, you know what? The large language model has read everything Malcolm Gladwell's ever written. And so if I could identify 1, 2, or in this case, 4 authors that the mixture of the way that they speak and present their content sounds like me. I don't want to sound like them, but the mixture sounds like me. And I would put that into my custom instructions. then every single time I have an output, it would sound just like us. And that's what we did. And I've built this amazing custom GPT called RealVoice GPT. You can look it up inside the GPT store. It's free for you to use. And all you have to do is go through it and answer the questions. And at the end of using it, it's going to give you a paragraph of the 4 authors that sound just like you. And then you take that paragraph, you put it in your custom instructions, and you press save, and it will always sound like you. So there's the QR code. You can just type in RealVoice GPT inside the GPT store, go through it, answer all the questions, and at the end of it, it's going to present you a paragraph with the way that you sound, so that every single time you interact online, it sounds just like you. All right, so this is maybe the most important slide of the presentation. We're going to get into real case scenarios here in the next 10, 15 minutes, and we are going to go over, guys. There's just so much to get to. I apologize. It is recorded. We just want you to get this information, so I'll give you a little bit of heads up. I was hoping I can get through it, but I also don't want to rush through it for you guys. Here's the thing, is I'm about to give you 4 or 5 examples of how you can use AI in your business. But I don't want you to leave thinking, oh, those are the 4 or 5 things it can do because Michael just showed it, right? It's important for you to take those ideas and go, well, if Michael can make it do this, I can make it do that. Don't focus on the exact example, focus on the overall concept. So this to me is the ideal AI starter kit for all of you. The $20 plus ChatGPT, the free version of NotebookLM, and the free version of Perplexity. We'll get to NotebookLM, and I'll show you one example in there today, but I'm not going to get to Perplexity today. It's just too much. And like I said, on the 8-hour mark, I would share something with you that would blow your mind and fundamentally change your business. And I can't share it. Even if I had 8 hours, I couldn't get through it all. So let's start with analyzing data. It's remarkable at analyzing data. And so these are all the sales in 2 boroughs inside Langley, BC, where I operate. This is all the sales information for a year and plus 1 month from Walnut Grove. This is all the sales information from Willoughby, the town over 1 whole year plus a month, so we can do year over year. And I say to it, listen, I want you to take these CSV files. I want you to look at insights. I want you to compare and see where things are happening when it comes to the home price index and average sales and active listings and month supply and so on and so forth. And for everything you analyze, I want you to give me key insights. I want you to tell me what the market impact is. I want you to identify some changes and trends. And oh, by the way, I want you to do it in our brand color and style. And I send this off. In this case, I'm using Claude. All I do is I drag the CSV file with all that data exported from my MLS system into Claude. I put in my prompt and I send that prompt off. And of course, this is sped up a little bit, but it's going to analyze all the data. The first thing it's going to do is start to look at the trends, start to look at where things are going, what's happening in ways that I can't see when I initially look at it. And then it's going to start building an interactive dashboard. It's going to take my colors, it's going to write the code, and then it's going to make it available for download and go online. And this is what it looks like when we go online here for me. This is what it ended up looking like. You see this Walnut Grove versus Willoughby. And now I could rerun this. This was the first shot. It's got Walnut Grove here. It says the detached area is balanced. It says that the detached is in a buyer's market state when it comes to Willoughby. And then we've got all these breakdowns of the home price index, average sales. Down here, we've got great graphs just for detached. Average sale prices there, or days to contract there for the 2 different communities. And then here under each one of these sections, it's going to give us insight. So let's look at the average sale price. If we click on the eyeball, it gives us some really great key insights, market impact, and what's happening when it comes to trends. I can come over here to apartments and look here. Walnut Grove is balanced. Once again, Willoughby's in a buyer's market. Come down here to months of supply, get some insights there too as well, and come down here to look at sales and all these graphs and the way that this data comes out. Now, there's a million ways we can use this, but it's remarkable how it can take data, analyze it, see the trends, and then present it in a really, really great way that you could put it into a market report or do whatever you want with it. So let's move on to the fact that ChatGPT and these large language models can now see. And it's sorry, I'm not seeing, I'm on web browsing. What's great about this is we don't always want it to use all of its knowledge. We want to focus its knowledge in a particular way. So if I go to my website and I go to our blog post section, I'm just going to grab a URL of a blog post we've done recently. This is about visibility of your listing. And I'll go ahead and press copy. And then I come over to what I've created as a custom GPT. And these take about 5 minutes to build, but these create things exactly the same way every single time. And this GPT for us, it takes a blog post, and then it analyzes the blog post, and then it writes 4 to 7 Instagram reel scripts that can stand on their own with an introductory statement, a body, and a closing statement written exactly formatted the way we want, so that we can just put them into the teleprompter and send them off. And this is real time. This is how fast it gets. All right, goes off to the web. It reads the blog post. It's reading it. Okay, here's where we go. Reel number 1, opening, main body, closing statement. Reel number 2, opening statement, main body, closing statement, and so on and so forth. So we've written a blog post, and it's gone off and created the content that we can do all the time. Now, if you don't write blog posts, you might be in a brokerage or in a brand that writes these blog posts, or you could do it for a news story that's happening. But the ability for it to go off and say, don't use all of your knowledge, go to this one article and turn that into something valuable that I can then put out and create some content that then drives traffic to my website and establishes us as the authority. So like I said, it has the ability to see now. Large language models can see. It's incredible what can happen. And so for this example, what we're going to do is we're going to drag in an image of a listing that we've recently just sold. And we simply say, review this image, and then write an engaging paragraph about it for a listing brochure. Also, in bullet point form, list the top 8 features to be mentioned in the write-up. Now, one of the reasons why it can be such a simple prompt, it's going to write the paragraph in my voice because I've got custom instructions. It's going to write it exactly in my tone, style, and voice. I go ahead and drag the image in there. It uploads the image. I send that off. And here is a paragraph that's written exactly the way we would present the property. There you go, paragraph perfectly written about it. But then we say, okay, what are those 7 or those 8 features? And if you go back and look at your image, it's incredible. Bright open concept kitchen, yes. Classic white cabinet with Apple storage, yes. Stainless steel double wall oven, yes. Large central island, yes. Modern light fixtures, including a statement dining chandelier. French doors open to a private patio space, yes. Elegant mix of hardwood floors and tile flooring, and generous natural light from oversized windows throughout. All those things are absolutely true. Now moving on to image generation, right? We have to be a little mindful of this, but there's been 2 breakthroughs in the last 6 months when it comes to image generation. We're talking about ChatGPT 4.0, and we're talking about Gemini's Nano Banana, which you may have heard about. And let's talk about Nano Banana to begin with. And this is a next generation AI image editing and generation engine that lets you reshape photos via natural language. It can blend multiple images, and it can preserve the consistency of characters and subjects across edits, and it can fully reimagine scenes, all while maintaining the original you. And this is really, really incredible what it can do, but we also have to be mindful of it. So to start off, let's start off with a real photograph. This is a photo of Brian Buffini and myself doing a podcast. And somebody knows this really iconic set. If you want to put it in the chat, this really iconic set that we are on right now, I'll keep an eye on the chat because I know someone knows what this is. But the thing about this image and this iconic set of myself and Brian Buffini doing a podcast together is none of this is real, right? I'm not real. Brian's not real. This iconic set that someone in the audience will recognize is not real. And we have to be mindful of that, especially when we're presenting properties, when we're presenting our community, that if we start to share things that aren't real, then we do share something that is real, then we start to question ourselves. And like, come back to the digital avatars, the videos of people. If people realize that some of your videos aren't actually you, then is the video that you were donating time at the local charity real? Like at what point does nothing become real anymore? And we have to be mindful of it. But Nano Banana does have a great use case, and there's a bunch of them, but let me share you one of them, right? You get a phone call, you got to go do a listing presentation. Tomorrow, you don't have time for your camera guys to go by and take a photo of the property. By the way, the set guys was Taskmaster. You don't have your time for your film crew to go by and take a photograph. So what do? We go on to Google Street View, we snap a photo of it, and we put it in our presentation because something is better than nothing. But 10 seconds more, this is what can happen. And once again, this is for internal use only. You're doing it to prospective buyers and sellers. You're not putting this on the web. You're not stating that this is the house, but turn this image into a high-end real estate photo, blue hour with lights from the home, creating a stunning image, remove the black truck from the driveway, make it spring, add leaves to the branches behind the home, improve the lawn so it's less yellow and it looks like it's been recently mowed. And 10 seconds later, this is the image we get. Perfect for a listing presentation in a short crunch. That is a great image. And what I mean by Nano Banana, it preserves the original image. The hardware is exactly the same. The roof line is exactly the same. The bricks are the same amount of numbers. Everything's the same. It's the same image. It's just enhanced, which a lot of AI editors couldn't do up until now. And it's really, really interesting. So let's move on to ChatGPT's image creation. And the big breakthrough here was the ability to do text, right? To do text. And so if we give a prompt with some infographics, we can then get something like this because it sticks to text. Or like we were talking about before, using this deep research, right? And we're going to turn this deep research into an ebook. We need a cover for our ebook. And there we go, your pathway home, the roadmap for Langley first-time home buyers. There's your cover for your ebook, something that you can do really, really easy. Now, let's go over to NotebookLM. I talked about it as it being the perfect starter kit for us. And I know we're moving quick, but there's so much to get through. And this always, I see the comments have gotten a little bit quiet. People get quiet. It happens. But I'm trying to bring as much value as I can in an hour. NotebookLM is an amazing platform. It's super underutilized. It's free for the most part, and it does some incredible things. And what it can do is it can analyze documents inside a notebook. It says, here's what I want you to analyze. Only stay on this information and give me some outputs. So what is NotebookLM? It's a digital research notebook by Google that lets you upload links and notes and then ask focused questions. It keeps AI's attention confined to the chosen sources, making answers precise, organized, and directly relevant to the material. And so this is a contract of purchases and sale. This is a listing from Oscar the Grouch's garbage can. This is a legal form from my local board, and it's also a purchase contract from SpongeBob SquarePants, who's going to be buying Oscar the Grouch's garbage can. I take those two contracts and I put them into a NotebookLM. Now, in Canada, every time we get an accepted offer, we have to do something called a deal sheet. I'm sure you guys have something similar. It takes about 10 minutes to do. And when you get an accepted offer, whether for a buyer or for a seller, we have to fill out this form that says the address, the contract date, the purchase price, the subject removal dates, the deposit amount, what subjects are involved, the completion adjustment date, what's the commission, all those sort of things. We have to fill this out. It takes about 10 minutes. But now, using NotebookLM and a predefined prompt, I just put in that prompt, I press enter. In about 6 seconds, I get this perfectly done every single time. There we go. It's writing out the deal sheet right there. I can scroll back up to the top and you'll see that it's perfectly formatted, exactly where I want it. The contract date, the address, myself, Jordan and Trish, my amazing business partners there, the other agent, Oscar the Grouch, SpongeBob SquarePants, the purchase price, the deposit, the completion date, the adjustment dates, all the contracts are the conditions and subjects, and then the commission all broken down in 6 seconds instead of 10 minutes. And let's give another example. HOA documents. In Canada, they're called strata documents, but HOA documents. On the left-hand side, you have about 750 pages of PDF pages of documents for this development down in Fort Langley. And the question I want to ask is, please summarize any major changes proposed or passed in any of the minutes or AGMs. I fire that off and it reads through the 750 pages almost instantly and then presents me a detailed breakdown of all the things that were proposed or passed. Now, when we're talking about real estate and strata documents or HOA documents, they have to be accurate. We have to make sure this information is accurate. You'll see there's little notations after every single thing that it's found. And if you scroll back up and click on one of those numbers, it'll take you exactly to the page and the area on that page that it found that information. So just like that, click, you know exactly that the information is there. You can verify it. You can make sure it's accurate. That will save you hours and hours and hours of time. And it's something that you can put on your phone, right? And just have with you every single time you want to do something. So I got a question for you. Are you feeling overwhelmed, right? And most people are. So let's put up the poll question again, Michael. We're going to ask the same thing. Are you a beginner, intermediate, or an expert? I'm going to try Nalaka. If you're feeling overwhelmed, I hope it's an exciting overwhelm. So I answer this question again. Are you a beginner? Are you an intermediate? Or are you an expert? And see where we are. Go ahead and answer those things again. And let's just see where we are. And Michael, or sorry, Michael, Bryson, can you let me know if we're good to go another 10 minutes? Yes or no? And then if we are, I'll give another example that's really, really incredible.
I believe so. Yeah, Michael,
Okay.
this is great content. Let's, we have time.
Sure. Thank you. All right. Thanks, guys. So go ahead, Michael, let me know where we are. We had 24% saying they were intermediates before. See where we are now, 16%. All right, we dropped. I thought we'd drop more. I'm proud of you, intermediates. I'm proud of you. I think we lost one expert. Maybe we didn't lose a single expert. But there we go. We dropped down a little bit, which is great. The opportunity is absolutely enormous. And we have to start using it as a teammate and not as a tool. And let me give you a really incredible example of that, which is empowering ChatGPT with your expertise. I love this example so much. You can use this for so much. And when I show this live, it blows people away, right? So a large language model is really, really smart. We can use all of its knowledge, right? Or we can say, just go to this website, just use this NotebookLM, which means only use this particular bit of knowledge. But what if we turn the large language model around and face it back at you and say, use you as the expert? And this is the stuff we're talking about when we're talking about iHomeFinder and create some valuable landing pages when it comes to AEO and GEO is you're the expert. You're the person that has the insights about your marketplace. You're the person that knows what's happening right now. You've got your finger on the pulse of the industry. So let me show you an unbelievable way that you can turn your own knowledge into some great content. And we actually filmed it at the Buffini Leadership Conference for you because I used to explain it and it wasn't working. So I asked the film crew, the Buffini film crew, if they could film me doing this example. And we're just going to play the video for you so you get a sense of how this works. I'm telling you, you can use this for so many use cases. It's absolutely incredible. And that's using the advanced voice mode. Now, if you're not using advanced voice mode, my cell phone's around here right now. It's right here. It's this little, I don't even have ChatGPT open. It's this little button here, this little wave form right there. And it opens up and you're going to see how it talks to you. And you can use it to brainstorm or interview you, but to extract your own expertise. So go ahead and we'll watch this video and then we'll show you how it works. I'm here at the Buffini Leadership Conference and I'm sitting at the table with Colleen Dutmers, Dutmers. And she's a real estate agent in Tacoma, Washington and Puyallup. And what we're doing is we're creating a piece of content for module number 5 of the AI Bootcamp, where we demonstrate to real estate agents how they can speak to you, the advanced voice mode, and have you help us create some great marketing materials. So this is the way it's going to work. I want you to ask 7 to 10 questions to Colleen about things that are happening right now in the Tacoma Puyallup real estate market, things that will be of interest to buyers and sellers. I want you to listen to every single one of Colleen's answers, and I want that answer to inform the next question that you ask her, all at the purpose of getting deeper and deeper into some really insightful things that Colleen, being the expert in the marketplace, will be able to tell you. And I don't want Colleen just to give you one-word answers. Colleen, I want you to answer just like you would in a conversation. And then chat, I want your last question to be if Colleen has anything more she would like to add about the market in Tacoma and Puyallup. And then we are going to run a prompt at the end of this conversation with you. That's going to turn all those answers into a great marketing market update piece. How does that sound?
Absolutely. That sounds like a plan. So let's dive in. I'll start by asking Colleen a few questions and we'll let the conversation flow naturally. Alright, Colleen, let's kick things off. To set the stage, could you share a couple of the most notable trends you're seeing in the Tacoma and Puyallup market right now? For example, are there particular types of homes or price ranges that are especially hot or maybe cooling down?
I would say currently right now, your mid price range is what's selling best. Anything 600 and under is going quicker. Anything 600 and over is going slower. We're seeing more price reductions in the higher price market prices.
That's really insightful, Colleen. Thanks for sharing that. So let's dig a little deeper on that trend. Given that mid-price range homes under 600,000 are moving faster, what do you think is driving that demand? Are we talking about first-time buyers, people downsizing, or is it just a sweet spot for investors? And feel free to elaborate like you're chatting with a colleague.
I would say right now, we're finding it's some of the first-time homebuyers that are coming to our team that they are really wanting a low-priced home. They're looking for something under 450. Interestingly, though, it's not because they don't have money down. They actually, one had $200,000 down, one had $100,000 down. And when we could have brought them up in price range and gotten them something a little nicer without as much work, they're like, no, we want to put our signature on it. We want to keep it. We'll take a fixer for less price and less of a payment.
That's really fascinating. And it definitely gives us a sense of what's motivating those buyers. So let's keep building on that.
So that is the initial part of it. And then what happens next is this. So this is your conversation. And now what we're going to do is we'll turn the model into GPT-5 Auto. We will add the prompts that everyone's going to have inside their resources at the bottom, and we'll see what we get. So it has quotes from you in it, like little word for word quotes that you had said about. Colleen explains that buyers aren't afraid of little work. They see cosmetic updates like kitchens and bathrooms as an opportunity, not an obstacle. And that goes in some insights for the sellers. You know, in the higher price range, you have to get the house ready. Once again, has another great quote from you put in there automatically, and then gives a little bit of a market outlook.
Wow.
There for you. Tacoma still feels like a community where neighbors know each other, and that's become harder to find, like a little quote from you there. And then conclusion and a call to action, all done there from the conversation that you've already had. It's right there. One thing too as well is that 80-15-5 rule that we're talking about before. This has gotten you to a place in just a natural conversation. You still got to go through and make sure it's accurate and make sure it represents what you have. But it's just so easy. You're the expert. You're giving actual insights that no large language model would know, that you're dealing with one person with $100,000 down or $200,000 down. Those are insights that they don't have it. You're the expert. And all you're doing is having AI be that news reporter or that person that pulls the information out of you and then turns it into a really great marketing piece. So that's how you can use advanced voice mode. It's spectacular, and you can use it for a bunch of different things in your business to create content, blog posts, ebooks, all the knowledge that you have that gives real world examples. So let's go back to Erica, and we're going to turn this profile into a playbook, a 3-step SOP sequence. So back what we did, we did some research. I asked Erica who she was. We found out where she worked. We took that information. We did some deep research. I'm going to show you right now. And now we're going to turn that into a unique standard operating procedure for first-time home buyers, specifically for Erica, specifically for her marketplace. So here we go. This is what the deep research looked like. It's a first-time home buyer journey blueprint for Maryland's Eastern Shore. And you're going to see that's going to do all this deep research about the process. And this is going to take a while to skim through, but you can see how much research it's done specifically for that market and that type of buyer. And it's put together all this information. It worked for 20 minutes. It's got all this detail in here, and there we go. That's all the research. Still going. Oh, still going. There we go. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to give it the role. You are a real estate client experience architect with 20 years worth of experience. Your task is to transform this deep research into an unbelievable SOP for our particular agent. And then what the SOP is going to have is all the objectives for the client, all the key actions and responsibilities for the agent, the client care and raving touch points, which are amazing to create these really great repeat and referral clients, and then all the essential resources and checklists for that particular client. And at the end of this prompt, all I've done is said the agent's name is Erica Harbin and the service area once again, and I'm going to fire this off. Let me close that down so you guys can see it. And once again, 80-15-5. But here in the next 15 seconds or so, it's going to create an unbelievable SOP specifically for Erica, specifically for the area that she works. That's going to be absolutely remarkable. This is something that most people would never get to. Here we go. It's for Erica Harbin of Whitehead Realty. Step 1, the agent's key responsibilities. Going through there. Raving touch points. These are so great that we look at these abilities to create these little touch points in here. And then we also have these essential resources and checklists. For example, financial readiness checklist. So right now we could say, hey, chat, in step number 1, item number 4, there was a financial readiness checklist. Can you write a draft for me? And it would do it. And the same thing for a comfortability affordable Ford one pager. It would create that for you. And then it's gone step number 2, which is the financing step. All the things, raving touch points, client care in here, all the essential resources, kits, local program summaries, Maryland Mortgage Program basics, the SNHS grants, which I have no idea what that is, but it's specific to that area. Step 3, and you can see it's absolutely remarkable what can be created from doing a little bit of deep research. It's still working away and turning that stuff into an incredible SOP. And I have that available to every single one of you right now. That resource is available for you for free. So sorry. For you. There you go. Just go to buffini.com/prompt or use that QR code, download it. And it doesn't have to be for first-time home buyers. You could change the words first-time home buyers into downsizers. You could change downsizers into investment properties or whatever you want. But that is my little gift to you guys, is that 3 prompt series, the agent research, the deep research prompt, and then what it turns into, change it into an SOP for all of you. All right, so here's the last slide of the presentation before we share some things for you. And it's just this. There are 2 types of people out there. There's adopters and there's adapters. I'm an adopter. I saw a change come in 1995 to the internet. And for the first time, I saw opportunity where other people saw a challenge, right? And so I've taken that leap. I'm grabbing land. I'm growing my business. I am using the cheat code where other people play with 3 lives. But then there are the adapters. These are the people that are going to change down the road when it's too painful not to change. But here's the thing about those 2 people. They both ended up changing. They both implemented it into their business. But one person benefited enormously by doing that change, and one person just stayed relevant enough not to go out of business. I encourage you, please, please do not be impatient, or I implore you to be impatient. Do not be patient. Be impatient. Seize this opportunity. We know we're living through the internet 1995 all over again, but this time we know it. So please don't sit on the sidelines. Go out there and take advantage of it. And I know some people have asked this question, and I wish I could sit here for 10 hours and give it all away for you guys, because I don't like the sort of sales pitch part of it, because I'm one of you. I'm an agent, but this is the only way it works, is to do what we've done. And we've created the Buffini AI bootcamp, right? And let me explain what it is and why we developed it. So I was on stage all over North America talking about video and social media for years and years and years, and always at the idea of how can we use this new technology to improve the customer experience. And when AI came along, all the people that I've been developing relationships for the past decade or so came to me and said, Michael, I'm sure you're down the rabbit hole. You're always an early adopter, and you're always focused on customer experience. Can you come and help us? And then over the next couple of years, I'm on the biggest stages in the real estate industry, doing exactly what I just did with all of you guys for an hour, and then walking away. And at the end of every talk, there'd be a bunch of people. In this particular talk, this is at the Mandalay Bay Arena in Las Vegas. Darren Dawson of Buffini and Company saw 200 agents lined up afterwards asking questions. And he came to me and goes, Michael, what are the type of questions people are asking? I said, Darren, they're asking me one question, and that is, now what? Now what do I do? Now that you told me it's a huge opportunity, and I know you guys are asking about this right now, where do I go to learn this? And I was like, I don't know. I got to go back and sell real estate in Vancouver, British Columbia. I've just told you it's a huge opportunity. You guys have to figure it out. And Buffini and Company that day said, this is a problem we have to solve because we agree with you that this technology, if used properly, will make you more human and not less. And that began a partnership with Brian Buffini and the amazing Buffini and Company network that over the next year or so, we developed this program and we launched it in June of this year. And that's what we did. And here's how it can help. The AI Bootcamp will do this for you. It's going to jump your productivity by 80%. It's going to jump your quality of output by 40%, and you're going to get back a couple hours every single day if you use this technology properly. And then you can reinvest that 2 hours into doing more of your client care, more of your lead nurture, more of those things that iHomeFinder is so great at, right? Following up on those leads, bringing them in. That's AI will help you do that. iHomeFinder will help you do that. But then we have to pick up the phone. We have to follow up. We have to be human to build those relationships that create repeat and referral business. And those 2 hours is what we should be using that time for. And that's how you're going to grow your business. So what's included? I'm getting better and better at explaining this every single time I talk to people, but here's how it works. When you sign up for a year at a time. And so if you were to sign up now, you would get the next 12 sessions in that year sign up, but you also get the previous 5 that we've already released. And I obviously go back and look at session number 1, and it goes much slower. It goes session after session. Each one builds off the previous one. You can go back and watch them as many times as you want. I know a lot of agents have watched certain episodes 5 or 6 times. You get all the real estate specific tools. We give you all the prompts, all the downloads, all the templates, all customized to you. Like the example that I gave you today of that resource, you get like 2 or 3 of those every episode that you can just plug and play. In fact, I gave away the format last module or the module before that we created all of our amazing iHomeFinder landing pages. And it even has the holder there for the IDX feed that exploded our website. That's an amazing prompt that I developed over 2 years. We gave that away in one of the modules. You get all those things. And then you get real world applications from a real estate agent using it every single day. And like I said, I wish I could give away this all for you guys. We can't. It has to be live. It's changing so much. It's evolving so much. And not only that, we have a Facebook group that you become a part of. And a week after we do our live sessions, I go on for 2 hours and just answer your questions from here in the studio. We got a toll-free number and we just do that. So that's the program. It's absolutely amazing. And the amazing crew at iHomeFinder has got you guys a discount code. When you sign up for Buffini AI Bootcamp, you use the discount code or the promo code iHomeFinder and you get $50 off your first year. Just go to buffini.com/AI Bootcamp. It's remarkable. And hopefully you've seen how much I've tried to jam into this hour. We go a little bit slower, but I really want you guys to win. I want you not to be left behind. I want you to jump that digital divide. I want you to explode your businesses. We've poured our hearts and souls into this, and it is amazing. And I know this too as well. Bryson's also got a promo for you that he can share now, or he's going to give to all of you guys when you guys get a follow-up email. And I know we're grossly over time, but I wanted to give you as much as we could. So I don't even know if we have time for Q&A. Bryson, I'll leave that up to you to decide.
Sure. Why don't we? There was a couple really good questions that came through. I think a lot, again, between all of the LLMs you were using, which one would you prefer? I mentioned you were using ChatGPT in this example. Would you say that one has a distinct advantage for a real estate professional over the other, and why?
Yeah, if that's me fumbling. That's right now. It's ChatGPT, the plus version, and not because it's particularly remarkably amazing at one thing. It's very well rounded, and I can't get into it. but using projects, creating digital employees in charge of departments. If we go back to, let me go back to my slide here when we're doing this department for Erica. If you go out to the very, very top of this prompt, you'll see that it is inside, well, it's not because you can't see this. It's inside my client journey and SOP department. This is a department that has files about how we create SOPs. And not only not on top of that, in my custom instructions, I have a client experience system architect with 20 years worth of experience running that department. Here we go. A client experience system architect that's running that department. And so when you think about your ability to have departments with employees in charge of them, you custom GPTs, custom instructions memory, which is going to be a huge thing moving forward, and a lot of people are catching up. It's just one of those things that got so many of those tools. The $20 a month ChatGPT Plus is so valuable. I am worth, on average, $197 an hour, right? How many minutes a month does ChatGPT need to save me to pay for itself? I think it's like 5. So when we think about using it, the upside is just so incredible. You don't get to limits. So right now it would be the ChatGPT Plus, because I think it's the most robust, well-rounded, and easiest to interface with for the average user.
Love that. Wonderful. Well, I think that's probably it. I mean, lots of really good content. As you mentioned, we are going to go ahead and send out an offer. We have been really innovating on the AI front here at iHomeFinder. It was great to hear you talk about the AI assistants and how you're utilizing those. We just rolled out this week. We built in an AI assistant inside the app that's going to start doing these tasks for you.
Amazing.
Producing blog content, exactly like you said, in your voice, and basically saying, do you approve? Would you like me to post? Here are all the options. And so we're going to continue to build that out on our end as well. But it's really good. I think you do an awesome job of explaining kind of the history, where we are, and the true power of this tool. So I'm grateful, Michael. You took the time to join us today. I'm grateful for Tom for helping get this thing put together. And of course, for everybody for joining us. We will follow up with an email with the recording and lots more information about your boot camps and what we offer here at iHomeFinder as well.
Hey guys,
that's amazing news, Bryson. Sorry to interrupt, Tom. Bryson, yeah, amazing. You guys are always at the cutting edge of that stuff, and you've been so impactful on our website and how we interact with clients. So I love all the things you guys are doing with this technology and giving us just that competitive cheat code to continue to grow our business. So Bryson, I can't thank you guys enough.
Excellent.
Awesome. Guys, there were a few people in the chat that were asking for the link to the course again. So I know you had the QR code up there, Michael, but are you able to drop that link into the chat box by chance?
Yeah, I should be able to do that. I don't know if Sierra's in here. I know. Let me just see what that yeah, AI bootcamp.
And then I know, Bryson, we're super excited to see what you have to offer everybody and the tools that you offer. And so we'll be sending that out with all the follow-up and the recording and all that good stuff. So, want to thank you guys again for joining. Great session.
Thanks, Sierra. Sierra's in there. Thank you, Sierra. She's my Buffini person that keeps me sane. So thank you, Sierra. I appreciate that.
All right, guys. Well, I don't see any other questions. If you guys are good, I'd like to thank you again for joining us here. It was a really awesome session. I loved it. Lots of great takeaways. And I mean, the audience, we got a lot of people still here and still lots of questions throughout. So great session, guys. Love to have you back again soon.
Thanks, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.